Hey, welcome back to Spring River Homestead. Fall is definitely in the air. It is sweatshirt weather, even at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. What, Montana's getting snow. We're getting down to the teens.
Single digits Sunday night.
And it is definitely time to get some stuff done before winter shows up. So today we're just going to run through everything we have done lately because we really haven't done a lot of filming or anything else. We've answered some comments and that, but we have been super busy and we still have a lot more to do. So we're standing right here in front of the garage door. One of the big things we have done, or I have done, has been painting. Thankfully, we got a lot of it done, or I have, and you can see kind of edge over there beyond Nikki is completely white. These are the doors to my garage, and they are completely done. All the man doors, the big bay doors, everything is all trimmed out, all done in white. The edges of the shop itself are in brown, and then I think we just have a little bit left to do that requires a big ladder to get up to do.
So here in the dome, everything is going well in our fall garden. I don't know for how much longer. We made it down to 13 degrees this morning. So what I did to try and keep some of my delicates, like the lettuce going, is I added an extra row onto all these beds. So that's like another 5.5 inches. And I'm doubling up blankets on the more frost-sensitive stuff. So I've got turnips and spinach, beets, chard, some cabbages, tatsoi, lettuce, arugula, collards, and kale for the most part in here. And it's all going fine. The only thing I lost, and I've got to dig a couple of them up tonight and try and move them, is just some basil that was in here, and I knew it wouldn't do very well, but I kind of forgot about it last night, didn't cover it up like I meant to. So, yeah, single digits supposed to be for Sunday night or Saturday night, one of the two. So I'm actually going to triple up the blankets because the blankets that we have are actually just floating row covers, so pretty thin. And the heat barrels are working. The blue one's not as good as, of course, the black one, but something is better than nothing. And we'll see how much longer we can keep our greens going.
As you can see in the squash dome here with the cucumbers, there are some pieces left in there. The tomatoes haven't made it. They're dead. 13 degrees last night, and it just basically has decimated everything in here. Thankfully, we are tired of zucchini, but you can see in there some squash left that we'll need to go in and get out of there. A couple of cucumbers here and there, but nothing else is in there. Now, for the winter, instead of going in there and actually taking us out, I think Nikki said she's just going to close these up and release some chickens in there. Just let chickens get in there, scratch it all up, eat it, harvest it, and then they will just basically dig it up into compost, and we'll clean it up in a couple months or the spring. So as you can see behind, there are not many left of our Turkeysaurus over here. These guys, they have been big. I think I'll slip a picture in here of me holding one, but I think the biggest one we had out of this alive was 16 pounds, and that's what's in this picture. A 16-pound rooster out of here. Now we have 6 of these left. We've been doing a few every morning. We did 8 the other morning.
8 the other morning.
5 this morning, and they're coming out to around 9 to 12, I think, is about the range.
Yeah, some
per
of
bird.
the hens have been 8 and 9 pounds dressed. That 16-pound rooster dressed out at 12, so he was a big boy.
Big boy. So there are 6 of these left of these Cornish that we had. We have an additional 30 heritage roosters probably to do that just we've had from hatching. We have 1 turkey hen left from the broad-breasted that we're going to do in another couple weeks. And we already took care of the Thanksgiving bird. And he was Bob. And Bob was big. And you're thinking, we usually get about a 20-pound turkey every year, and it's a lot. How big was Bob?
Kaden couldn't carry Bob.
Bob was so big.
Dropped Bob in the yard.
Bob was so big, he was like this. He was massive. Nikki shot some video of me holding Bob, but before and after?
No, I pretty much just have Bob sitting on the table after we weighed him in.
Okay, so here's what we did the day we actually butchered Bob.
And Bob was a challenge to actually butcher. So this was Bob beforehand. Now Bob, usually we put our turkeys in a feed bag to keep their wings from beating us up too bad. Bob did not fit in a 50-pound feed sack. We got him just past the edge of the wings, so I laid on him while he kind of beat his feathers out, his nerves out, I guess, after butchering. I got the bruises to prove it, as he beat Kanan up pretty good too. And then we tried to scald him, and that didn't work. He didn't fit in the scalding pot. And so he required a dry pluck. I think all in all, from the pen to the cooler, it took us about an hour and a half.
About an hour and a half. Now, he was so big that when we took him over to Nikki's mom's house to put in the freezer, in order to clean Bob, she had to put him in the bathtub because he was so big he would not fit in the sink. We're not sure how he's going to fit in the oven, but in order to get to the freezer, she had to take him in a wheelbarrow.
The freezer is in another building. So Mom, after almost throwing Bob off the porch where he was in the cooler, she decided that that was not going to work again. So she, after he was wrapped, cleaned, wrapped, she wrapped him in a blanket, put him in the wheelbarrow, and wheeled him out. But so this is us talking about Bob and what Bob weighed when it was all over. All right, so this is Bob. Bob is a broad-breasted tom. He is just 5.5 months. We got him at the beginning of May, and today is October 17th. And Kanan just weighed Bob, and this kind of will show you some of the difference between these guys. Bob is 54 pounds as of right now. How big he'd get if we'd let him go, I really don't know. But this is going to be a challenge enough to get him butchered and get him into the freezer. He's going to take up quite a bit of freezer space. So this is what a broad-breasted tom at 5.5 months looks like as far as size.
Now, although it's a little dark in here in the sunroom, and it's also echoey, but one of the things Nikki has done is she brought in a lot of chard from the regular garden. So we knew it was going to be cold in that, so she dug up a lot of the chard, and it's actually sitting here on the table. Keeps it at least out of the freezing temperatures. We haven't insulated inside our sunroom yet. That is one of the things left on the to-do list, but really it's not that big of a space, so we can probably knock that out, at least the insulation part, out in probably maybe 2 hours or something. It's really not a lot to do. Now, of course, we still need to finish it. We're still deciding on that. We were thinking about wood slats, but we're still not totally sold on that, on exactly if they were going to do that, or some sheetrock, or both of that. Plus, we still need to do the mudroom too.
Yeah, so I just dug the chard up, put them in some pots. We'll watch them over the next couple of days for shock, but this stuff was all out in the main garden. As you can see, for as old as it is, it really didn't get very big. The stuff that's out in the dome is like only, I think, 1.5 months younger, and it's huge. So you can kind of see what I was dealing with in the garden this year as far as things not doing very well. Will they get huge in the pots? No, because they don't have the room for the root structure. But I grew them here in pots in the house, my first winter ago, which was 7 years ago. And they did fine. They still got, probably 8-10 inches tall, which is plenty tall enough to use baby leaves. So if we can keep these going, we'll have chard at least all winter.
So outside of all that stuff, the things we have left to do is we still have firewood to do. We still need to recover our firewood bins. We did get the last of our hay, so we've got 3 ton more of hay, and that is now in the barns. And
this last bit is going to a barn out back, a little shed that we've got for 1 llama. So 6 bales will do him a long time. I've just got to finish putting the outside access door on. Hopefully, maybe this weekend.
Maybe this weekend.
It'll be cold, but...
And then we've also got our 2 storage buildings. So now, right where we're sitting, there's going to be 2 buildings put in here. One is going to be probably for my car projects, extra parts, everything else. The other one will probably be farm storage, where you can put the quad in, a lot of our extra materials that we don't really need laying around, but we still need them. We're going to have some enclosure in there for the tractor to be able to park in there for the winter, which will be fantastic. That will get a lot of our major equipment out of the weather. And then I think the last thing is we got hip campers still coming. There are some brave people that still want to come out here and camp. So we still have our campgrounds open. Fire pits are turned back on and that, so they can do that. But like last night, it was 13 degrees when I got up this morning, and we had a camper.
Yeah, and it was down almost, it was probably mid-30s last night when I went down to see him to drop off some zucchini bread that he'd bought. And he seemed fine. He didn't seem all that bothered. So we do have a reservation for, the first weekend of November.
Yep.
So brave souls, if you feel like a trip to Southern Oregon and braving the cold, the campground is still open. And we'll leave it open until the road either gets too wet to safely travel or the snow starts to fall. So, still open. We'll see how many people partake of that.
I know it. And I think the last big news coming off the farm was that Friday my furlough ended. I'm actually unemployed now. So, I got a call last week that my job was ending. So, we are 100% officially homesteaders and content creators going forth.
Yeah, we'll see how this goes.
We'll see how this goes.
We're going to kind of ride it out at least through the winter. We naturally have enough food to eat because we have a million chickens still to do. So yeah, we're just going to kind of ride it out. We feel like this winter is going to be kind of rough anyway because it's already getting really cold really fast. And I'll leave the political stuff out of it, but it looks like it's going to be a really interesting next couple of months.
Yeah, that's for sure. So that'll be it. I have tons of stuff to do in the garage that I've been just constantly busy with. All the stuff that I literally planned this whole year basically got put on hold because we have been so busy on the farm. So I'm going to take a few months. I'm going to go build cars.
And breed goats.
And breed goats and do all this stuff that we've been wanting to do and then see where we get to in the spring. But who knows?
Who knows?
This may be the full-time gig. Hard to say.
And I announced on our rabbitry page here 2 weeks ago that we will not be showing anymore for 2020. There are a couple shows coming up, but I'm not really excited about all the mandates in place. So we're not going to do any of those, but we hope for better things in 2021.
Yep, going forward.
And if not, we'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens. So with that, a lot of stuff done, a lot more to do, and next week we start our buildings and everything else, and well, we're just going to keep on rocking until we can't rock no more.
Pretty much.
So that's it. We'll see you next time for Sprague River Homestead.
Happy homesteading.